Let's just take a walk down memory lane, okay? Here was Doug Emhoff at the DNC. This is post the Daily Mail's first report about banging the nanny and impregnating another woman, his child's nanny and teacher, while he was married still to wife number one. They put him up there and he does his aw shucks routine, and all the glorification of the media happens thereafter. Here he was in a speech almost universally praised by the media.
As I got to know her better and just fell in love fast, I learned what drives Kamala. And it's what you've seen over these past 4 years, and especially these past 4 weeks. She finds joy in pursuing justice. She stands up to bullies just like my parents taught me to. And she likes to see people do well, but hates when they're treated unfairly.
Then let's go. Okay. So first of all, thoughts on that and him at the DNC with that aw shucks routine.
Is it just me, or does he sound a little drunk? He sounds a little drunk,
like his wife.
Me. A little slurry, a little like sliding around the points he's trying to make. This is also the thing that is so incredibly exhausting. Again, Kamala stands up to bullies. Well, let's ask like the 90% of her staff that has fled over the past 3 years, because apparently she's such a bully and she blames everybody else for not doing the reading of the briefing books. And I just look at this guy and I just think, what is the media doing? I feel like they feel like, oh, this is the kind of man the Dems and the left-leaning media valorize. And they've created him out of whole cloth, because I don't think this is Doug Emhoff. Doug Emhoff, as we reported, was a lawyer who had to step away from his job, not so that he could just fully support his wife in her political ambitions, but because his client roster was really problematic. Among them were an arms dealer who was selling to Afghanistan, Big Pharma, and a nightclub impresario who was charged with sexual assault and sexual battery. But the media has, as I wrote in this column, I don't understand it. Like, it's like they presented him like a neuter. Like he's just a guy, like he's a Ken doll with no genitalia. Like literally he's got no balls. He's just happy to sit in the corner and like, pedal hard while his wife makes this this run that is just, it's a joke, it's a laugh. And it's like, it's cool. Like, what's cool about it? Like, the New Yorker just ran this really weird story, covering him on the campaign trail, and how all these female voters were like, oh my God, his musical taste is so cool. Like, he went to the record store and he bought like Stone Roses on vinyl. And if he likes The Cure, I think I'm just going to keel over and die. Like, this is the level of discourse that the left-leaning media is giving us vis-a-vis Doug and his wife. And they're both charlatans. They're both fakes. They're both phonies, and for those who've seen that clip that's going viral with the MSNBC producer, who's basically saying,
have that. We'll get to that for sure.
Yeah, we're Pravda. Her message is our message. We're doing everything we can to help her win this election. So who are we supposed to trust? You can't trust what they're telling you.
Here's another example. All right, this is Good Morning America. Again, this is post the Daily Mail's report on the nanny and the impregnating as he's cheating on the first wife, but pre the slap, which ABC is ignoring anyway. They get Doug Emhoff, and here's an example of how that went. Top 5.
Why is New Jersey special to you? So how would things change for you in the past 2 months? So for those who may criticize and say, well, she hasn't done that her 3.5 years in office as vice president, do you think that's unfair? And if she become first gentleman, what would that say about, defining the gender roles and about masculinity?
That's it. That's where they went with him.
It's so embarrassing. It's embarrassing. And I really think, I was thinking about this in revisiting the Jen Psaki interview and even the Stephanie Ruhle interview with Kamala, which if you only heard it, you were missing Stephanie's body language, which was bouncy and encouraging. And she was smiling and nodding along as she was trying to help Kamala land the plane to make a point, any point.
So true.
I just don't think these people possess shame. I don't think it's something that they're wired with. I would expect to be called into my boss's office and if not fired, put on probation for a performance like that in what we are told is the most consequential election ever. I don't think this is going to work out for them, for any of them. I don't think it's going to work out for her, and I don't think it's going to work out for these so-called journalists. Watching Rachel Maddow the other night after the Veep debate say, right off the bat, one of those candidates was polished in together and the other one won.
Sure.
It's like,
Jan.
Did we see the same thing? Did we all just witness the same thing? I had people texting me who do not consider themselves Republicans at all, who are out the gate were like, holy crap, I would vote for this guy. I would vote for JD Vance. Look at this performance. Look at what he's saying. One of my friends said something I thought was so smart about the way in which JD Vance was exhibiting adrenaline control. I thought that was so on the money.
It's true.
Because when you looked at Walz, who was just like there with his mouth hanging open and clearly for a coach, never watched back game film, never saw how he looks and presents when he's not talking and how he does sound when he is talking, and was not prepped to address one of his biggest lies, my favorite, perhaps. I was at Tiananmen Square. Okay.
Sure. Okay. Right. I was there.
Yeah.
I remember the whole thing. I almost got shot, basically. I mean, turns out, as it turns out, the truth is he watched the Joy Luck Club that night. That's as close as he got.
Probably. And in a related development, so, and this is, again, it just tells you where we are. Brian Williams, the lying liar, who was almost saw dead bodies floating by in Katrina, lie, embedded with SEAL Team 6, lie. I mean, I could go on. He is in talks with Amazon to cover election night for them.
Yes. Oh, it's a done deal. Steve Krakauer tells me it's a done deal. And by the way, it's being billed as like the nonpartisan, just purely factual news broadcast. It's going to bring you the election results, Maureen. You can't make it up.
There's no one I trust more than Brian Williams to give me the blow-by-blow that night. We're all going to be half in the bag anyway.
His name has become synonymous with lying, with self-aggrandizement. That's what Tim Walz is doing. He's a Brian Williams. He tells lies that either are totally pointless or that make him look better. Those are his two favorite categories. Yeah, no, it's incredible. But I do want to spend a minute. You raised this in your piece. You've got a great piece on this whole thing on the Daily Mail, separate and apart from the one that we discussed. It's out there right now. And the headline here is Kamala Harris and her media lackeys parade her wife guy, beta hubby Doug Emhoff as a model feminist. So Maureen Callahan rages, how can they stay so shamefully silent now that he's accused of hitting his ex? Okay. Kamala Harris. The problem for her here, other than the obvious ones, are that she has painted herself as this champion of women who are abused, women who are hurt by men, the avenger of women who are in that position, and the woman who will excoriate any man accused of putting a woman in that position. So what does she do now that she's chosen to make that a key part of her campaign, same as she's chosen to make that a key part of her alleged professional personality? And it got me to thinking back on that now famous cross-examination she did of Brett Kavanaugh, when she went in there like some badass prosecutor. This guy's been accused of sexually assaulting somebody, and I will leave this room with his balls in my back pocket because of these 30-year-old unsupported allegations. 30-year-old unsupported allegations. Here she was during the Kavanaugh hearings.
Judge Kavanaugh, have you taken a professionally administered polygraph test? All three of the women who have made sworn allegations against you have called for an independent FBI investigation into the claims. So I'm going to ask you one last time. Are you willing to ask the White House to authorize the FBI to investigate the claims that have been made against you?
The FBI would gather witness statements. You have
Sir,
the witness statements.
I don't want to debate with you how they do their business. And say yes or no, and then we can move on.
I've had 6 background investigations over 26 years.
Sir, as it relates to the recent allegations, are you willing to have them do it?
The witness testimony is before you. No witness who was there supports that I was there.
Okay, I'm going to take that as a no, and we can move on. Do you agree that it is possible for men to both be friends with some women and treat other women badly?
Okay. This is a woman whose administration right now is parading the first spouse into cabinet meetings and ceding control to that first, in this case, lady. They're fine with that. They are fine ceding control of cabinet meetings to the first spouse. Will her husband take a polygraph? Will her husband submit to an FBI background check when it comes to his alleged abuse of women? Serial? Will he? Will she agree to it preemptively so we can put this matter to rest and make sure what we are or are not getting in our White House, in our Oval Office, in our cabinet meetings? If her boss's behavior is any sort of an example, I've got my doubts. Genucel is back with a stunning end of summer sale. For a limited time, you get the top-selling Genucel Dark Spot Corrector right now to see those dark marks and sunspots disappear right before your eyes. Stephanie from Santa Cruz, California says, love this product. Leaves my skin looking younger, even at my age, she writes. Imagine sunspots, brown spots, discoloration, even red inflamed patches all disappearing in front of your very eyes. The Genucel guarantee, you will see results the very first day, guaranteed, or you will get your money back. Who else gives that? Take advantage of the Genucel most popular package, which also includes the classic Genucel bags and puffiness treatment and immediate effects product, all at close to 70% off. And if you're a new customer, there's a big surprise waiting for you on Genucel.com right now. Just look for the word red. Intriguing. What does it mean? Go to Genucel.com/MK today and start looking younger tomorrow. Genucel.com/MK. Get a free limited edition beauty box with your order. That's GENUCEL.com/MK. Genucel.com/MK. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.